Disclaimer. This is non-profit and fan-based. I am no way connected to Nintendo or any other company I mention in this video. It is strictly for entertainment. Enjoy! Do you remember when Super Smash Bros. First came out? It was back in 1999. Great year, huh? You're about 10 years old and the world was coming to an end, and your friend/jerky neighbor calls you over to play Smash Bros. I wasn't quite sure what this game was, but I knew it featured some of my favorite heroes, like Super Mario and Zelda. Buying my own copy, it took about 10 minutes to beat, and what's this? Who that guy in the green hat? What's a Captain Falcon? Is that the Paperboy? Oh, right, Jigglypuff. A big part of Smash Bros. Has always been the characters. Who doesn't like a game that features Mario punching Pikachu in the face? The sequel Smash Bros. Melee was the first time I had ever seen a Fire Emblem character. I didn't know who Roy or Marth were, but I knew I hated them. And it blew my mind to see Lucario battling in full motion on Brawl. So, we basically finished all the games on it so far, so the Wii U just sits in a corner collecting dust. But it will see the light of day once again as we wait for the Zelda HD remake, Bayonetta 2, Pikmin 3, and of course another Smash Bros. Sequel with great anticipation. What characters will they choose to appear in the next title? I don't know. But I can always make an uninspired top 10 video as I wait. So when Capcom caught wind of Nintendo's upcoming sequel, this is what they said. We have a character with a decent fan base. His name, Megaman. Here's an idea. Instead of using him, don't. That sounds like a good idea. Or instead, we can use some more obscure characters like Bass or Punk, and then 2 years later have the actual Mega Man as a downloadable skin. And here is yet another combat-ready robot, but from a slightly more obscure title. Not too many sequels, if any. I'm talking about Marina for Mischief makers. This artificially intelligent machine, originally made for housework, is not afraid to step onto the front lines when she needs to, with combat that consists of grabbing things, crushing them, and most of all, shaking and shaking them. I bet if she made the cut, she'd consist mostly of close-quarter combat. But I question how she can be made into a fighting game character, when most of her actions are grabbing things. And number 8 is the Paperboy. I only volunteer this character because, like I said, I really thought Ness was the Paperboy. What? I was 6. He's pretty high on this list for the same reason as Marina. How can they translate such a character into a fighting game? I mean, he rides a bike and throws newspapers. He's a Paperboy. I guess he can still be made into an assistant trophy if they have to. Will is an interesting character from an interesting game called The Illusions of Gaia that had interesting boss battles that gave me interesting nightmares when I was young. I was little when I first played it, so I don't remember much about it, but I do know our hero has a projectile attack and a flute-like instrument. He also has the ability to transform into the mighty Freedan, a valiant knight with golden locks and a sword. The ability to change forms is fun, and Smash only has Zelda who, well, Samus sorta does it, and Pokemon Trainer kinda sorta does it. The roster doesn't have to be filled with characters that transform, but 1 or 2 more really wouldn't hurt. As far as I know, the earlier Castlevania titles have always been with the Nintendo gaming consoles. So why not use one of their characters? Simon or Richter Belmont? Nah, forget those losers. I'm talking about Soma Cruz. That's right, ladies, you're not imagining how pretty this guy is. Soma is the reincarnation of Dracula himself, so he's loaded with magical spells. And as far as weapons goes, this guy carries guns and swords and much, much more. He will give the game designers two major problems in programming. One, how to minimize his arsenal so that the game is even playable. And two, how to prevent the audience from drooling. The man is ready. Okay, so I recently tricked my friend Jokuma15 into playing The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. He owned a copy for a while, but never touched it. When he did, he enjoyed it. He liked the art, the story, the boss battles are incredible. He actually didn't hate the motion controls. Well, not too much anyway. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want me using his name unless I mention the fact that he thought the music sucked. And the heart mechanics sucked too. But he thought the game had some pretty colorful characters. They were pretty interesting. And that's why on this list, we can't go without mentioning the best character of them all. Groose. Wait, Groose? Script! No. Number 5 is Ghirahim. He presented everything I really wanted in a Zelda game. A boss battle that wasn't a tightness monster, original music, and he was a pretty decent villain with a very freaky tongue. Hear that, Super Smash Bros? Try to incorporate all of that into your next game, including the tongue. Yeah, so Smash Bros. Is full of clones, and honestly, Mario doesn't need a space blasted on this game, any more than he already does. But I think Paper Mario would be a serious contender. Despite having Mario's color scheme, I think he'd move more like Game & Watch. The Paper Mario titles are usually a turn-based RPG that have Mario using more than fireballs in his fist. He uses a variety of hammers and boots, so I guess he'd move more like Kirby does. But I'm more concerned about the final Smash mechanic. Paper Mario has always been an entertaining game, and has always made sure to end with a flash or a bang. So whether they use the Peach Beam or Royal Sticker, Paper Mario's final smash is sure to be so fantastical that it'll leave the characters and the players alike in a violent epileptic fit. Dun da da da, bum beady bum. Yeah, sure, I'm giving this game a lot of credit, but I really enjoyed Mother 3. But I played it after I played Brawl, and to my surprise, all of Lucas's moves belonged to Kumur. It seems like just because she wasn't the main character, she wasn't used in Brawl. Don't get me wrong, I really like Lucas, but I liked Kumur more. Mostly because, like Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII, her basis of fighting included both hand-to-hand combat and explosive spells. Not only that, there's just something exhilarating about characters who aren't afraid to get down and dirty with just their bare hands. Speaking of which, why not use Duster? Duster was full of ninja-like skills. Backflips, powerful kicks, despite his busted leg. Well, his moves were sort of supportive. Wall staples and smoke pellets and stuff like that. I guess if not playable, he can be an assisted trophy. But Kumur is very playable. Keep all of Lucas's moves and just redo his model. Not to sound preachy, but the game only has 3 female characters. Want to be technical? 6. So by using Kumur, we expand in gender diversity, but also PK Starstorm will belong to its rightful character. Chrom. Enough said. Seriously? You really want more of an explanation than that? I mean, you knew this guy was going to make it to the list. I mean, look at the guy. Look at his face. Look at his sword. Look at that singular arm guard. Look at that cape. You really need more of an explanation than that. Since we're talking about Fire Emblem, I have a request as a fan. Please, add this Marth into Super Smash Bros. 4. I don't want to beg, but I like this design. And spoilers, yeah, I know, it's a woman, but as I said, we wouldn't care. In fact, we'd embrace it. I don't want to lose the other Marth though, so maybe it can be an alternate costume? Wait, what was that? Oh, sorry guys. Looks like there's no party. Well, number 1 is Shantae. I'm gonna try not to rant with too much here. But just like Crom, I'm pretty sure some of you saw this one coming. This character comes from a game that... I mean, just look at it. The cover speaks for itself. This scantily clad, belly dancing, half genie lashes at her enemies so hard with her hair, they explode. Bones and bits everywhere. I heard a while back that at one point a 3D free roam platformer sort of thing was going to be made for her. But because of her design, it didn't quite work. Her hair got in the way. Which brings up the point that nonsensical side-scrolling violence is the only world she belongs in. Plus, Shantae is female. I mean, if you haven't noticed. Not only that, she transforms and is a combat-ready character. Not only that, she's the main character of her own game. She fits. Sorry if you guys disagree. Like I said, I have no power on who makes the cut in the next game, even though I begged for an alternate costume. But I do know I'm anxious for the next game, so the least I can do is, make the most of it while I wait, right? I hope you guys enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed making this, as hastily slapped together as this was. Thanks for watching, and know that this was a group effort. Please read the description. And, if you have any criticisms, if you have any questions, you can always leave a comment. This is a Denny Kicks video, ending somewhat successfully. Toodles.